There we go. Yeah, we got mics on. We're getting ready to go on the air. Randy, come over here and get in the shot, man. Get in the shot, and y'all get up close to the microphone there. Got two of my buddies, Leon Lathan and Randy Collins, and we're going to be doing the Champ Show. It comes up in less than a minute. So stay tuned. Get ready. How long we got, Logan?
We got about
15. All right. Talking during the songs, while the songs are on the radio, and we're going to be sharing a whole bunch of stuff. And don't they look happy? Smile, guys. Coming up here, y'all stay tuned because we've got maybe another 45 seconds to go. Anyway, before that happens, Leon wants to tell you about what's happening at Toccoa. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way right now. Big racing coming up Sunday night at Toccoa. Leon, what we got?
Well, everything's going to be the regular show. We got fireworks. We're going to have a kids' foot race. We've got two main events to make up from last week, the front-wheel drive and the limited class. We'll be running two main events from last week, plus our regular show. We got a band's going to be there from like 4:30 till 6:30. I was trying to think of the name of them. Renegades will be there 4:30 till 6:30, and then we'll have like an intermission about 8:30.
We got 10 seconds.
And take care of the kids and run the first limited main somewhere around that, so you'll have time to prepare your car for the later race.
All right, that's it. Hang on. We got to do the opening. We'll be back in just a second, ladies and gentlemen.
My Country is WCON FM, Cornelia, Athens, Gainesville. This is the Champ Racing Show on My Country 99.3 WCON. Presented by Jackie Jones, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Cleveland. From NASCAR to local tracks, it's everything you need to know with your host, Georgia Racing Hall of Fame announcer, Charles Head.
Tonight I've got Lathan Collins here as my co-host. Logan Bennett is already here. Logan, what's happening with you, man? I get it in just a minute. It's going to be a fun night. We've got lots of guests talking to and talking about what's coming up this weekend. A lot of big things happening this weekend. We're going to cover it all here on tonight's Champ Show. So thank you for tuning in. Right now, let's get a little low cash going right now. I love this life right here on My Country 99.3 WCON. Thanks. So here we are. Well, anything else you wanted to say about Toccoa and what's going on Saturday night?
No, it's just
Sunday night. Sunday night.
Yeah. Let me see. I had to write it down because Mike was telling me this stuff, and sometimes you get kind of confused on what he had to say. So, right here, the grandstands they'll open at 4.
Slide up a little bit toward there. There you go.
The grandstands open. The pits they'll open at 2:30. It's the same price to get in. So you guys or any you families or whatever, if you wasn't there last week, if you come this Sunday, you get to see 2 extra main events. So you're getting 2 extra mains for the price of what little it takes to get in.
Yeah, and that's a big deal. Going to be a lot of things happening at Toccoa on Sunday night. Saturday, Livonia is operating, and here's kind of the source of what's going on at Livonia for us tonight. Randy Collins. Randy, what's happening at Livonia?
Yeah, we'll be at Livonia Speedway Saturday night. It's the Rusty Jordan Memorial.
No. It'll be in July.
Okay.
Yeah, they didn't prepare for the Rusty Jordan race. Right. It's going to be, I'm thinking, if I'm not mistaken, $1,500 to win limited on Saturday night. That's what they changed it to.
Charles.
Yeah.
Real quick. Yeah, for your first guest, I just want to make sure.
First guest is Lee Parson. Parson.
Yeah, it'd be South Asian Sportsman.
Yeah, model sportsman, which is Randy McCoy's series, of those of you that know about the racing series. And they'll be bringing in limited cars. Talked to Blake Kraft today. He's going to be running in that race. He's going to be running one of Gus Simpson's cars. It'll be a number. Kenny Harris just bought it from Gus. So he'll be driving a number 2. It's a red car, number 2. So you'll look for Blake Kraft in that car this weekend.
Blake will be good.
Yeah. Yeah, he's getting ready to. They're getting ready to run some series races or some off races, and this is just kind of a local weekend at home.
Right. So. Yeah.
He's been doing real good.
Yeah. And he's been driving Wesley's car some, and I think they're out of town this weekend while Wesley and Blake's car's not running. Yeah. But that's some good equipment, and he's a heck of a driver.
Yes.
Yeah. So how much time we got, Logan?
Like 50 seconds.
Second.
Yeah.
Remember, I'm going to ask you who we got on the line. Here we go. Oh, Michael Moore's watching. Hey, Sheriff, how are you?
All right. You know I said 50, right? Not 15?
Oh, yeah, I thought you said 15. Okay. Difference, 5-0. All right, so we got some time to talk still. Here's a programming note. Next week, the Braves are on radio. We're on Facebook only. Next week, we'll be at El Parion in Toccoa. We're going to have all the Toccoa staff there, and it's going to be at El Parion in Toccoa next Thursday night. So just a programming note to let everybody know. Mike and I've worked out a deal on that, so we're looking at it. Charles called the zoo. They have some senior citizens loose. Here we go. Hang on. Act like we know something.
Get weekend recap presented by Jackie Jones Dodge Jeep Ram. Monday morning at 8:45 on My Country 99.3 WCON.
With on Monday recap our race, talk about some local stuff too. All that Monday morning, 8:45, right here on My Country 99. Look who
We got a lot.
Paul's first win. How about that, Lee? How are you, man? Out of cloud 9.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that rolling. Robbie, I've been throwing you in the mud. He's coming home with a car. Now, it's to get out front and get you a win.
Yes, sir. I run every weekend.
Well, you time. See, that's one.
Yep.
So,
Sir.
about the race.
Well, I got out. I that's what I do.
Well, I tell you what, that's hard to do in that division.
Yeah. There he got. I told me and him talk about. He's a great guy. I
Tell you what, I'm excited for you to finally get a win. I know you've talked about it for a while. The money's back, and you were able to do it. And of course, one of our sponsors, El Patron, is on your race car, and that's always a good thing.
Yes, sir. And his crew to me for the last 5, 6 years in my car for the last 3 years. Yeah, but I've known Robert for 30 years, and he's always a good guy. So
Really? Wow.
yeah, I've known him a long time.
Well, tell me a little bit about how your racing season has gone so far. I mean, I know this is your first trip to Victory Lane for sure. So how's the racing season gone?
Well, the first race we had the first race at Toccoa, we had broke my right.
Oh, no.
No, so
How much damage? Big shot, stuff like that. We've fixed and we're able to Good deal.
we was driving up. We done a whole new setup on it, so
Oh, really?
yeah.
What?
New cars.
John, when you see the racetrack, it's always good to see guys that support the track every week. They're there, and whenever one of them comes up and gets a first win, that's just special.
Yeah, well, you see guys come to the racetrack on, numerous occasions, and they're really the people that makes the racetrack go. They support it whether they win or not. They're always there. You can always just look in that parking spot, and sooner or later they'll fill it up. Then once you get that first win, it totally gives you a whole new outlook on racing. Then it tells you I'm qualified to do this.
Yeah.
I got enough now, and I know the feeling when I get out front. So it's a good feeling.
That's
I
pretty
promise
cool.
you, it's a good feeling.
Quick hang on for a minute with us?
Yeah.
Yes, got more to come. It's the Jackie Show on My Country 3. Go in.
It's Phil Valley. Jeep. Go play Jeep. Take her with all Jeeps in stock below invoice because Jackie Jones is overstocked with new Jeeps. That's Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Cleveland, Georgia. The best price every time,
How
period.
many times as a kid did you pull your arm down and yell, blow the horn, at truckers you'd see on the highway, them to blow their horn? What if you were that driver and some kid was making that same memory? That's what's available to you right now at Simpson Trucking and Grading. Big trucks, big salaries, big deal. And it's just waiting for you at Simpson Trucking and Grading. If you are open to a new career in the trucking or heavy equipment field, contact Simpson Trucking and Grading on Candler Road in Gainesville or give them a call, 770-536-4731. That's 770-536-4731. Simpson Trucking and Grading wants you.
What's this yellow stuff on my car?
It's that time of year. If pollen is all over your car, what better solution than the $5 car wash at Bulldog Car Wash? Ask for the Champ Show Car Wash, and you'll get it for just $5.
What's this red stuff on my car?
Well, if you visit the local dirt track, then you might just need to head over to Bulldog Car Wash and ask for the Champ Show $5 car wash. Yes, it's happening every day, just $5 for a car wash, but you have to ask for it. Make sure to request your Champ Show $5 car wash at Bulldog Car Wash, across from McDonald's in Toccoa.
M&M Used Cars in Jefferson has a great selection of late model full-size trucks. Check out their extensive truck inventory, full-size diesel and gas models from which to choose. If you're looking for a low mileage, late model full-size truck, chances are they have exactly the one meant for you at M&M Used Cars. Check out the extensive inventory at MNMUsedCarsJefferson.com. That's MNMUsedCarsJefferson.com. Or stop by at 1312 Washington Street in Jefferson and see them in person. Apply for credit right on the website. 24-hour chat available as well. M&M Used Cars in Jefferson.
I've just got to tell you about the folks at J&C Auto Care in Toccoa. My truck was blowing oil all over the place. Well, I took it to several places who just couldn't figure out what was going on. But Jason and Clay knew exactly what to do. And you know why? They've been voted the best repair shop in Toccoa 2 years running. They're locally owned and operated. Check them out at 70 Mize Road in Toccoa. J&C Auto Care.
Sunday night racing at Toccoa Raceway. That's right, Toccoa Raceway remembers and honors those who serve and have served this Memorial Day weekend on Sunday night. It all starts Sunday afternoon at 4:30 as Music by Renegade hits the stage. The drivers' meeting is scheduled for 6:30. Kids' foot races and fireworks will highlight the night as well. Oh, and did we mention racing? 9 hot divisions of great dirt track racing coming your way. See the best of the best drivers in the South tackle the 5/16 mile bull ring. The high banks of Toccoa Racing will come alive this Sunday night as we honor veterans on Memorial Day weekend.
You're listening to the Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Champ Racing Show with Charles Head on My Country 99.3 WCOF.
And I'm here with my two co-hosts tonight. Leon Lathan is with me, and Randy Collins. Lee Parsons is our guest right now. And Randy, I think you got a question for Mr. Parson.
Yeah, who helps you on your car, Mr. Parson?
Well, I got my girls and my son helped me a little bit on it, and then Robbie and Charles Campbell, they've been a big, tremendous help. They are the one who steers me in the right way when I get off a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Alex Brown, he helps me a little bit and work on it, and Ricky Jones has been helping me a little bit lately. So, as far as sponsors go, is that what you're asking, or just help on the car?
Help, sponsors.
So let's do a shout out to El Patron and the Mexican restaurant in Cornelia, Georgia. They've been a big help. Campbell's Transmission, Justice Extermination, Parson Construction, Christian Parson Entertainment, and Parson Farm LLC. That's who I got on my ride. And they've all helped me a lot, so I'm very fortunate to have some good sponsors. So,
hey, Lee, let me ask you this: how's Christian doing? We saw he got a pretty good report here recently.
Oh, he is. He's always subject to being sick because he has no spleen for his immune system, but his platelet count is up tremendous. It's like 300,000 where they want it to be. So
wow, that's good.
Great. Yeah.
When's his next Elvis impersonation coming up?
Well, he's got a competition coming up in about 2 weeks in Tupelo, Mississippi.
Ah, man, almost at the home of Elvis, where he was born, Tupelo.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the home of Elvis, and we probably won't be racing that weekend because we'll be down there cheering him on. So.
I got you. Yeah, well, tremendous. Listen, Lee, we appreciate you being on the program. Thanks so much. We'll get to see you on Sunday night, and hope you get to reproduce that with another win.
I hope so. So we'll see y'all Sunday night. Thank you very much.
All right, sounds good. Lee Parson has been our guest. Time now for a little Luke Bryan. Luke says, that's my kind of night. That was Lee's kind of night a couple of weeks ago or last weekend at Tacoma Raceway when he got that win. Here's Luke Bryan on My Country 99.3 WCON. All right, I stepped on him by about a second.
Well, hopefully Facebook won't recognize it.
Yeah. I don't think they did. Anyway, well, I hope we got the sound fixed. Have we got the sound fixed? I've disconnected everything and put it all back together, at least if it's intelligible. Yeah, those of you that are asking if these two are brothers, yeah, they are.
Another one other long enough, we should be.
Well, now, you were telling me the other day, you kind of learned from Leon when in the flagging business. What?
That's why I don't know how to flag now.
Well, that's something special. And the first person I ever worked with, I guess, I worked with Howard Mize. Yeah. Howard was the flagman whenever. Let me get this up here.
True.
But I worked with Howard when Charlie was in the tower, and that was back in the 70s. Yeah. And then you came along after you quit driving in the mid-'80s or early 80s. When was it you started flagging?
Late 70s.
Late 70s. Yeah. Did you learn from Howard, or how did you pick it up and start? Or did you create a whole new way of doing things?
Well, after Howard and Charlie left Toccoa, Johnny Sheriff and L.B. Behrman picked the race up. Well, L.B. was a flagman, when I wiped out the people's cars, whatever I could find to hit.
Flag stand or whatever.
Whatever. And then after that, L.B., he wanted to go to the tower. He was a good announcer. I mean, he's a big old joker. So they just throw you to the wolves. Said, here, we want you to flag. And I was like,
here's a flag, figure it out.
I don't want to do that. I don't like flagmen. But anyway, I tried. And I always make a big joke about it, and I said, well, I tried to drive a while and I didn't learn how, so I quit.
That's my story. I tried to drive and couldn't do it, so thank goodness I can sit on my fanny and talk.
Then I tried to flag for a long time. I never did learn how, so I quit. So they moved me to the tower, tried to be a race director for several years. Never did learn that, so I quit. So now I've got to the age where they say they're going to put me in a wheelchair to hand out hot dogs. They're going to let me go on.
So have you learned how to park cars yet?
Well, it's better. Mike's made a good deal about double filing the cars, going to the pits on top of the hill.
Yeah, that's helped. And
now I just sort of sit over there sit there and wave at people and talk to everybody coming in, That's pretty easy, But you guys, it's coming to the racetrack now. You won't believe, Mike's sort of done some delegating on fixing the racetrack. And he's got Chris Collins. He's got Robbie Stewart. And then Greg, he comes in, when he can from his other job. And they're sort of prepping the track all week. And that's why it's doing so good, because they got time to come down there every afternoon or whenever.
Makes a difference.
And prep the racetrack. And it's showing up.
Now, who's Greg?
Greg Bowen.
Oh, Greg.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't know he was involved in it.
No, he works every race down there on one of the pushers. He pushes cars and all that stuff, and he comes down during the week. He's still doing his little deputy stuff. Yeah. And he helps them out with water trucks and driving tractors and, packing the racetrack and whatever there is to be done. Yeah. And people don't realize how much work goes into prepping a racetrack to get it ready for the next week.
Yeah, Billy was talking about, I'm messing something up here. Picked a fine time. I got to get that off the screen. Picked a fine time to leave me loose wheel. And my favorite thing, when I was doing the LB, after LB died, we had a little memorial deal for him. And in honor of LB, I sang, "He stopped loving her today," because he'd always sing that in the tower. So that was my line of LB that I always liked.
Hey, Charles, we still got 2.5 minutes. Just want to make sure we have everything lined up together. Second guest, Kenneth House Jr.
Kenneth House Jr. That's correct. Yeah. Okay. Now, Randy, when did you actually start flagging? Did you start at Toccoa, or what was your first track you started at?
I started at Toccoa.
At Toccoa? Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, and how did you getting out of the flag stand and Randy getting in? How did that happen?
Well, it's sort of a confusing story, really. I was sort of off at Modoc and, Augusta Motor Speedway, Gordon Park.
Right.
And down south of here, flagging car races and stuff. And then when Brad and, what's the guy's name that was with Brad?
Mike White.
No. At Toccoa.
Andy Hyde.
Andy Hyde.
Andy, yeah.
They took it. And Randy was always real close to Brad. So, I wasn't nowhere around, so that was his opportunity to go on the flag stand because I was off somewhere else,
Well, I remember the first time you flagged, I thought you knew what you was doing. I thought that was good to see. And I remember that night you came with new flags, and they were heavy as a quilt. You was out there trying to wait those things. That ain't going to work.
Looked like bed sheets. I know they asked me one time, was I going to wave the green flag? I said, if I can get that one hung off the bottom of the flag stand. It was hung. It was so long.
Well, have you ever dropped the flag? I hear people talking about that all the time.
Yeah.
What do you do? Just wave your arm? I mean, what do you do when you drop the flag?
No, if you're waving the green flag, it don't really matter.
Yeah.
Because you don't need it till the next caution. So when you give a caution, you run down there and pick it up, land up on the bank, you know. But now, if it's a yellow flag and you drop it, you just depend on those lights, you know, and blink them a good little bit. And the first chance you get, you jump down, run, grab it, run back. And said, I don't believe nobody saw me.
I'll have to tell you this story. How much time we got?
We got 30 seconds, Kenneth, on the line.
All right, 30 seconds. I ain't got time for this story. I'll get it in a minute. I'll tell you a story about a flagman and something very interesting that happened when he lost a flag. All right, so we'll do that in a minute. We got, so you're ready to fire the reintro.
Yeah, reintro will fire immediately after this song.
Now, if y'all got a question, you were there with Kenneth House Jr.'s first win, front-wheel drive at Livonia, Young Guns at Livonia. So if you know anything about that, ask a question. All right, here we go.
Car number.
I don't know. What car number?
21.
All right. 5 seconds.
This is the Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Champ Racing Show with Charles Head on My Country 99.3 WCON.
And I'm joined by Leon Lathan and Randy Collins as my co-host tonight. Logan Bennett is here as our producer. Logan, who we got on the line now?
We got Kenneth House Jr. all set and ready to go.
Kenneth House Jr., another one of those first-time winners. How about that? Hey, how you doing, Kenneth?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing fine. Congratulations, man, that first win. That is something else to be able to get that.
Yes, sir.
Tell me a little bit about the race now.
So we started outside pole. We got backed up and we went to third, and then we worked our way back up to second, and then we ended up getting out front, and then I just led every lap from there.
So how close could you hear the competition behind you, or could you see somebody stick a nose down beside you, or what? How was the competition during the rest of it?
No, my car's pretty loud, so I really couldn't hear nobody, but I saw the videos, and it looked like I got pretty far out, and then they'd work me back in.
I got you. Randy Collins was flagging that race there at Livonia, and it's always special, Randy, whenever you got a kid that gets a first win like that. That is something very special, and I know that you kind of everybody watches Victory Lane. Are they going to roll him in the mud? Are they going to take care of that? So how did that work out for you, Kenneth?
Yes, sir. I climbed out of the car down there, and everybody was cheering. And then I got interviewed by Joel, and then they rolled me in the mud.
So now you've been, I know you were racing at least last year. Is this your second full year racing?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I raced go-karts before that, and Randy flagged for us when I raced go-karts too.
Was that Shiloh?
Yeah, it's Shiloh. Yeah.
So how did you do in the go-kart world? Did you like that?
Yeah, I won the points in red plate.
Okay, and so now that was how many years ago?
I was like 8, and I'm 15 now. So
okay, so several years back. So now, when did you make the transition? When did you decide you wanted to get in a full body car like a Young Guns car?
I've always wanted to race because my papa raced back when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And then we bought that little Honda Civic, and then I raced last year, and I liked it, and then we built this new car. and it's been a lot better.
So now, what is the new car?
It's a stock body Mustang.
Okay, so it's a Mustang. I got you.
Yeah.
How'd your number come about?
My papa ran it when I grew up, so I just wanted to take after him.
Was there any reason? That's the 21, correct?
Yes, sir.
Is there any reason that he chose 21 that you know of?
I remember when we went to the museum, there was a guy in there, and he was like, his number come out by him. I can't remember who the guy was.
Probably, the Silver Fox. Who am I trying to think of?
Pearson.
Yeah, Dave Pearson. Probably Pearson in the 21, if I had to guess.
Maybe.
Yeah. I would imagine that's the case. So many people run 21 because of that number. So now tell me a little bit about what you're expecting this weekend when you go back to the track. It's going to be your first time back as a winner. How are you going to feel?
I'm hoping I don't go in over my head because I've won. I'm hoping I can just stay calm and not get cocky.
Let's hope that's going to be the case for you. You know, it's easy to do that. You go back in and you think, man, I got this thing under control, and you wind up crashing on the first lap or something stupid. I've seen that happen to drivers more and more. And I've seen a lot of drivers leading their first race coming out of turn 4 and get so excited they don't make it to the finish line. You know, we've all seen that happen over the years. Thank goodness you made that work on that past Saturday night whenever you got the win. So now,
the last lap, I went in over my head, and I felt like I was going to spin out. And I had tears run down my eyes after I passed the third flag.
That's a great story. Listen, if you can hang on just a minute, Kenneth, we got to take a quick break. We'll come back and talk some more, okay?
Yes, sir.
Kenneth House Jr., after his first win, is our guest. We'll be back with more on the Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Champ Show in just a moment, right here on My Country 99.3 WCON.
If you're looking for the best shock package for your 602 late model, modified street, stock A, or open wheel modified, then Joey Dorsey at Racecraft Performance is who you need to call. Joey's helped many top name drivers achieve success by building their shocks to be the best on the track. Choosing from famous names like AFCO, Bilstein, Orem, Fox, and Penske. From dynoing your shocks to spring rate adjustments, Joey knows all the tricks of the trade. And don't forget your racing fuel. Racecraft Performance has that too. Contact Joey Dorsey at Racecraft Performance at 706-436-2294. Or see him at Modern Tire in Hartwell.
If you're looking for late model used car parts, look no further than Peach State Auto Parts on the Royston Highway in Cannon. That's in the Gold Mine community on Highway 29 between Hartwell and Royston. Scott Heumann and his staff also buy scrap metal, copper, and aluminum cans. They will pick up your junk cars for free. If you need roll-off bins or containers for business or construction, call on Peach State Auto Parts and Recycling. Call Scott today at 706-245-4407. That's 706-245-4407.
You know what Debbie and I don't do anymore? Clean our pool. That's because we've hooked up with Aquabot of Georgia. The Aquabot robotic pool cleaner is #1 in pool cleaning technology. This amazing robotic technology maps the pool floor, scrubs and microfilters your water down to 2 microns, saving you time and money on expensive chemicals and water. You simply plug in the tangle-free power cord, drop it in the pool, and walk away to enjoy your free time. That's it. Stop by Aquabot of Georgia in Gainesville at Chastain Janitorial and see our friends Shane and Debbie Chastain. They'll hook you up. They've served North Georgia for 30 years. Check them out at aquabotofgeorgia.com. Your pool cleaning days are over.
Bowling Farm Supply is like a step back in time. Remember when you go to the feed store with your dad or granddad? Well, at Bowling Farm Supply, you can relive those great memories. Of course, they have feed, seed, and fertilizer along with soil, hay, and mulch, but they have so much more. A massive selection of knives. Names like case, buck, poker, hen, and rooster, and handmade knives, face jugs, antiques, and boat lighters. It's more than just a feed store. It's a unique shopping experience. Bowling Farm Supply is located at the corner of Highway 198 and Damascus Road in Homer. Stop in today.
It's the Memorial Day Bash this Saturday night at Livonia Speedway. Southeastern Late Model Sportsman pays $1,500 to win. But that's not all the big payouts. Get this. 602 Late Models pay $800 to win. The Modified Street winner will pocket $600. Open Wheel Modifieds will be racing for $600 to win. Stock 8 drivers will vie for $500 to win. It's also $500 to the winner of the Stock 4 race. The top dog in the 4-wheel drives will take home $300, and the Young Guns winner will capture $200. All this great racing action will kick off Saturday night at 7 o'clock at Livonia Speedway, the fastest 3/8-mile track in North Georgia.
pedal to the metal with the Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Champ Racing Show on My Country 99.3 WCON.
And Kenneth House Jr. is our guest right now after his first win of his career. That's just a pretty amazing thing. I think, Randy, you got some questions for him about his sponsors.
Yeah, who helps you on your car, sponsor-wise and help-wise?
Yes, sir. First, I would like to thank the good Lord up above for allowing us to do it every week. My papa and my nana, they put numerous of dollars into this thing.
Now, who are they? Mention them by name, so if people know them, they'll know who you're talking about.
Eddie Poolnot and Lisa Poolnot.
Okay.
DP Graydon, Proven Performance Racing Engines, DGW Power Coating, Collins Auto Salvage, Fowler's Auto Salvage, Jimmy's Hot Bowl Peanuts, DMP Heating and Cooling, and friends and family, and the Coker family for all of their support.
I tell you, anytime you're sponsored by a peanut company, that's a good thing. So now tell me a little bit about where do you live? Where are you from?
I'm from Maysville, Georgia.
Oh, Maysville. Okay, so it's not that much of a pull to get to Tacoma Raceway or to Livonia.
No, but the race car stays in Winder, like 5 minutes from Winder Racetrack.
I see. So, but you haven't raced at Winder, have you?
I did last year, but this new car, we ain't taking it to Winder.
I see. Okay, so you're going to keep it at Livonia. So you're planning to be there Saturday night?
Yes, sir.
Good. Well, I tell you what, we're looking forward to seeing you. I'll stop by and say hey to you. I'm planning to be there Saturday night, too, so I'll stop by and say hey to you. Where do you normally park?
Up on the hill, like the first spots.
Okay. So as you come in the pit gate, are you going to be on the left or right? You going to be straight across from where you come in, or are you on the left? Straight across. Over in the David McCoy, Chris Woods area, right?
Yep.
All right. Listen, we look forward to seeing you there. Kenneth, thanks so much for being on the program. Congratulations again on that win, and we look forward to seeing you on Saturday night.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Kenneth House Jr. has been our guest. Check him out in the number 21, the Mustang at Livonia on Saturday night. Right now, it's time for a little Sugarland here on My Country 99.3 WCON. This is Something More. Okay, right. Now we're talking again. So I was going to tell you this story. I was Florence, South Carolina, Florence Speedway. I was working a series, American Challenge Series, and the flagman, he was a big old dude, and the flag stand was kind of small, and he waved the green flag, and when he turned around to put it down, his butt hit the red light. And, I mean, everybody just bowed up and stopped down in turn one, tore up like 20 race cars. I mean, it was the first lap of the race. And we had to give them like an hour to beat their cars back out and get it. And I mean, boy, they were, he had to hide. They were not happy with him at all. That was a tough time. Whew, goodness. But sometimes, especially those, that's when we raced Newport, Tennessee. A great little racetrack in Newport, Tennessee. Did you ever go to Newport?
No.
I flagged for Andy.
Yeah, I did. I went there one time.
Fun little racetrack, man. I love that track. I met some folks when we were on vacation from Johnson City, Tennessee, and they were very familiar with Newport Racetrack.
Yeah. I went there one time, long time ago.
Yeah. First concrete, like a miniature Bristol. High bank, good little track, yeah.
First time I went up there for Andy Hyde.
Yeah.
Well, I go down on the flag stand. And I reach to turn the lights on for the first time, and I get shocked because all the wires are sticking out of the switches. And then I feel something walking down. The stand walks out of the grandstands, the flag stand, and felt it move a little bit. And it was a track chaplain. He come up and put his arms around me. He said, "I'll be praying for you. You got a dangerous job." And I got on the radio and asked Andy, I said, "What the other flagman do? Get killed? What's going on here?"
But it's really good for these young kids that's coming on. It's like 14, 15, and talk the way he did. And the hard part for those kids is peer pressure. They're under all kinds of peer pressure against their buddies. You know, if they don't go fast or something, are you scared? Well, let me drive it then. If you're scared to run fast,
nobody's ever been in a car, don't know what it's like.
And it's their girlfriend. You know, he's got to impress her.
Right.
You know that he can't run 10. You know, so he's under peer pressure. And he goes to school. Same thing. All his buddies at school. How'd you race? 8th. No, I mean, if you win, say, "Hey, man." Yeah,
that's right. You're a big man on campus.
And those young kids are really under a lot of peer pressure. Yeah. And people don't realize the grandstand people are just your common everyday people in the stands don't understand what those kids are going through. And they're out there with guys that's 25 and 26 years old.
Right.
Yep.
Running against a guy that's 15 with no experience.
Yeah.
And that's more peer pressure.
Yeah.
Because you feel, I don't know the feeling you'd have to say, you know, they've run 3 or 4 years. This is my first year, and you're trying to compete with somebody that's got a lot of his seat time on
and possibly better equipment than what you can afford as a kid, and your parents trying to scrabble together something for you. And you know, maybe 15 years ago, I was really worried about our sport. We didn't have any kids coming up. There wasn't any. You didn't see many kids playing at the racetrack. They didn't come with their parents. There wasn't any divisions for them.
That's right.
And now we got young guns, and we got kids getting 602 Chargers. Got kids getting in. And it's real exciting to see these kids starting at an early level, getting that competitive spirit.
It is.
But see, these people don't understand. It's like at Toccoa with 602, we got about 3 602 Chargers or whatever.
Or as Jewel calls them, hard Chargers.
Well, whatever. Anyway, so, you know, you can't run just 3 cars, you know. So normally they let them
run with the 602, yeah.
And everybody fusses, not everybody, but the majority of the people that don't understand, why are you putting them beginners in there with a regular class? I'm like, well, you wasn't here a few years ago. You built a race car and it's a 602. They don't care if you was 14 or 99, first race or last race. They don't care. Just throw them in the pack. You had to run with the big boys, you know.
Yeah.
Either run with them or stay at home. They didn't have beginner classes.
Right.
So some of those Chargers have caused a little bit of commotion of being in the way, not moving.
Yeah.
But then you got to blame that on
But
somebody else.
You look back at the 70s and 60s and 70s and 80s, whenever we all kind of got started, that's the way it was. You were just out there, and if you was in the way, you learned to get out of the way, or you get run over.
That's right.
And if you got run over, you know, you had to go apologize to somebody being in the way. It wasn't their fault; it's your fault for being in the way.
Well, see, that was thinking that maybe that question might come up as to why. There's that reason, you know, of the car count to run them with, you know, the regular 602s. That's one reason. The second reason is we already got 9 classes.
Right.
So, I mean, we're going to clear another class of 10
Right.
for 3 cars.
Well, see, and that's another thing. Back whenever we all started, we'd have 30 cars in a class, but you only had 4 classes, maybe 3 classes.
Yeah.
Well, nowadays, in order to have enough money to break even at a racetrack, you got to have 85 cars, generally speaking, and that means you got to have more classes to get that many cars, so that somebody don't lose money that night.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
People forget it's a business, you know, and you're always walking that tightrope with the owners of the track, whether
a lot of that stuff comes from the towers, saving cars getting tore up there. They're not paying attention, or they're not firm enough in a nice way to move cars out of the way, you know. So you got to tell them if he's running a good line, you just tell him the leaders are approaching, hold your line, and you can pass them.
Right, and you need to start doing that early. Not wait till they're right on their back bumper and getting ready to pass them going in the corner. That's too late.
Leaders are approaching.
Yeah.
Leader is on your bumper.
And you got to say it twice,
your
because
line.
that first time they're going to hear you, but they don't really know what you said. And the second time they'll concentrate on what you're saying.
20 seconds.
Same thing with radio. When I ask a question, I'll usually ask it twice.
Yeah.
I'll ask it the first time, give them a second or two to kind of come up with an answer, and I'll re-ask it a little different way.
No surprises.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. All right, here we go.
10 seconds, Ricky on the line.
We got Ricky on the line. Okay, thanks, sir. Ricky Jones.
Truck driver. Ricky, he's a sight.
It's pedal to the metal with the Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Champ Racing Show on My Country 99.3 WCOF.
Yeah, and I'm blessed to have Leon Lathan and Randy Collins as co-host with me tonight here on the Champ Racing Show. And Logan, who we got on the line right now?
We got Ricky Jones on the line. Says he's been listening, so he should be good to go.
Yeah, Ricky Jones, man, if he's been listening, he's been getting all kinds of good stuff to say here. Ricky put it in Victory Lane in the Pro Trucks on Saturday night at Toccoa. Ricky, it's been a while since you've been in Victory Lane, man. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, it's been quite a while.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about that race. How did it unfold for you?
Well, we got a rocky start there. The truck didn't want to act right, didn't want to run right. I was having some fuel problems, and kind of drove in over my head there and coming out of turn 4, and me and Gordon got together and caused a big old wreck, and it just went from there.
and I was very fortunate to win that race. If you want to know the God's honest truth.
So how did you wind up with that kind of debacle in turn 4? How did you wind up getting the win? What was the secret?
I really don't know. I think the reason I got the win is Mr. Sammy blew an engine. And to be honest with you, yeah.
Well, I tell you what, sometimes those good luck things, you lose races whenever the luck doesn't go your way, and sometimes you win them that way. So that's a good thing.
Yes, sir.
So I wondered if you were going to have to get out and go get the wrecker and haul that truck off on your own, because you kind of used to doing that, aren't you? You used to pulling cars off a racetrack. I know you did at Lanier for a while anyway.
Absolutely. Lanier and Road Atlanta, and I'm actually sitting in the tow truck right now talking to you on the phone.
Oh, are you? So what's your location now? Where are you sitting?
I'm across the street from you right here at Gene's Pawn Shop. I'm in the parking lot over here. I would like to give a big shout out to Brian and Rhonda Andrews over here at Gene's Pawn Shop. They've been real good to me in the past few years, and real good place to come get some great deals.
Good
if you're ever
deal,
in town.
If we had a window on that side of the building, we could look out and see you sitting over there, couldn't we?
You absolutely could, yes, sir.
So, Ricky, now let's go back to your beginning in racing. How did you start? We started seeing you showing up in stock 8 cars back, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 years ago, something like that. Update me on how you did that and when you got started.
Yeah, 2016 we bought a car, me and Jamie, and we put it together and got it ready for the 2017 season, and that was my start, was 2017, and me driving a car. My Uncle James Nation, he's always had cars when we were growing up, and I've been around racing since I was probably 10 years old, and I'm 47 now. So.
Wow, so you've been at it quite a while then.
Yeah.
So what were your earliest experiences going to the racetrack? What do you remember, and what track did y'all go to most often?
I would have to say it was kind of a throw-up between Westminster and Toccoa. Going to the track with James and being able to be in Victory Lane with like Calvin Knupp, Clifton Snow, David Tatum, all those guys drove from my uncle, and then out there with Spur Wiley and Jerry Seegers and all those guys.
Boy, Leon, that brings back some memories, those names, don't they?
He's talking about stuff that was going on way before the age that you told.
Yeah.
I believe he fudged a little bit on his age, if he remembers.
I can remember Leon having to come out of the flag stand and have some prayer meeting with some of those guys you're talking about.
Absolutely. Me too.
All right, so, man, those were great drivers and a great time. You look at today's drivers, we got some really good drivers out there, but the equipment is so different.
Right.
That's the thing. Back in those days, everybody was having to go to the junkyard and still, manufacture the parts and so forth. Now you just go online or go to one of the chassis manufacturers that handle all this stuff, and you get the speed stuff. You get the good stuff. Hey, Ricky, I want you to hang on just a minute. We got to take a quick break. We're going to come back and talk more, okay?
Yes, sir.
Ricky Jones, driver number 91, is with us on the program. Got more to come. It's the Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Champ Show. We're My Country 99.3 WCON.
What a load! That's what you'll be saying when Gus Simpson pulls up with your load of gravel, topsoil, or dirt. Gus has been in the trucking business with his family his whole life. Now Gus has branched out into his own trucking company. Gus Simpson Trucking maintains a fleet of 15 late-model dump trucks sitting at the ready to bring your load. Call them for a quote. Write this number down, 678-780-0197. You can also check out the Facebook page at Gus Simpson Trucking.
If you want him dead, call Fred. I've been saying this for years. That's because Fred Justice and the staff at Justice Exterminating can make your home pest-free. Justice Exterminating is your local full-service pest control company, serving all of Northeast Georgia. Debbie and I had huge problems. Bugs, roaches, rats, we had them all. Till Justice Exterminating came on the scene. They handled our pest problem in no time flat. We wouldn't go a single month now without our visit from Justice Exterminating. Give them a call today for a free inspection. 706-968-8519. Justice Exterminating will get you pest-free, I promise. Remember, if you want them dead, call Fred at Justice Exterminating.
M&M Used Cars in Jefferson has a great selection of late model full-size trucks. Check out their extensive truck inventory, full-size diesel and gas models from which to choose. If you're looking for a low mileage, late model full-size truck, chances are they have exactly the one meant for you at M&M Used Cars. Check out the extensive inventory at MNMUsedCarsJefferson.com. That's MNMUsedCarsJefferson.com. Or stop by at 1312 Washington Street in Jefferson and see them in person. Apply for credit right on the website. 24-hour chat available as well. M&M Used Cars in Jefferson.
The Addison Agency is your one-stop for all your insurance needs. Home, auto, life, commercial, farm, and annuities. They're the insurance agents for Debbie and me. You can find them in Toccoa at Design Point. That's just across Rose Lane from Colts and Clark. See Daryl, Bonda, Colby, or Mary Ann for the best quotes from Auto Owners Insurance. Call them tomorrow morning, 706-886-1247. The Addison Agency is our insurance agency. Make sure they're yours, too.
What's this yellow stuff on my car?
It's that time of year. If pollen is all over your car, what better solution than the $5 car wash at Bulldog Car Wash? Ask for the Champ Show Car Wash, and you'll get it for just $5.
What's this red stuff on my car?
Well, if you visit the local dirt track, then you might just need to head over to Bulldog Car Wash and ask for the Champ Show $5 car wash. Yes, it's happening every day, just $5 for a car wash, but you have to ask for it. Make sure to request your Champ Show $5 car wash at Bulldog Car Wash across from McDonald's in Toccoa.
Dirt Tracks. We're talking racing on the Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Champ Racing Show on My Country 99.3 WCON.
And we're talking with Ricky Jones right now. Hey, Ricky, they just told me that's a number 51 on your truck, not a 91 now. What happened there?
Well, when I went into the truck, I'm driving for somebody else, and we just decided to change the number. That was a number that he'd run on some modified street cars, and we kind of come up to a mutual agreement on that number.
I got you. Okay. Well, I think Randy's got a question for you.
Yeah, who helps you on your truck? Your sponsors?
Well, first of all, I want to give a big shout out to Gail and Kel Garrison at Grill 52 in Clarksville, Georgia. They're going to have a grand opening Tuesday, the 28th, at 4 o'clock. And we got Mark and Bubba Seegers at Nails Creek Auction in Carnesville, Georgia. Robbie and Charles Campbell, Campbell's Transmission. They give us a place to work on our race car and where we're not out in the yard working. And we got Clifford Beard at Old 29 Golf Carts in Hartwell, Georgia. Of course, Lee Parson, Parson's Construction. And can't forget Jamie at Nations Recycling. He helped us tremendously over the wintertime get that thing geared up and get a transmission built for it so we can get a little more speed out of it.
So are you going to run the truck? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead and finish your sponsors up. Sorry about that.
Oh, I'm sorry. And I want to thank my wife, too, Kristen, for putting up with me in all these ventures. And Alex Brown, without him, I couldn't be doing it right now. Absolutely. And give a shout-out to his sons, Jackson and Weston. They're the truck owners.
Ah, okay.
And and Chuck Cantrell and Donnie Wade for letting me and Alex have time off to go do this on the weekends.
Good deal. Well, listen, are you going to be in the truck all year, or are you going to back stockade, or what's the plan now? Because we've seen you in both.
Well, right now, this year is going to be the truck. So, as far as I know, that's where I'll be.
I got you. I assume you're going to be there Sunday night, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing you. Rick, it's always good to talk to you. Thanks for being on the program with us.
Well, thanks for having me, Charles.
Thanks so much. Ricky Jones has been our guest. Check him out in the number 51 truck this Sunday night at Toccoa Raceway. Right now, it's time for Tim McGraw to come with us. He's going to talk a little bit about that Indian Outlaw on My Country 99.3 WCON.
All right.
Okay, so now we're talking again.
Hi.
We do the NASCAR report up next?
Yeah, after this.
Okay, you good with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to be talking Joey Logano because I was
I mean, really, that's all you can talk about for the race itself. Just
I'll tell you what
how he was.
I'll tell you what Joey said about the race.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you about that. Anyway, so now we were talking about drivers that have gone on and about cars and about how things have changed as far as cars go right now. The technology has just gone crazy.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I really like is Raceiver. I think that when Joe came up with the idea for Raceiver, for somebody in the tower to talk to the drivers, that has changed the face of racing as we know it. Because no longer do you have to get out of flag stand and go line everybody up. That's something
true.
you used to have to do all the time, and that just makes the night longer. Plus, you can tell people there's a crash in turn 4, back off, or something like that. There's a lot of things you can do on a Raceiver.
Raceiver saved a lot of race cars, a lot of wrecks.
It has, but there was, my theory is, being old school, what you did was made a flagman obsolete.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He don't do anything anymore except he's wearing a Raceiver
and waving the green flag though.
Well, that's true. I mean, he goes through the motion. Just
But
like NASCAR
it's still up to you to wave the green flag when they get to the start zone.
Right.
So there is something the flagman does. But can you imagine a racetrack without a flagman? Fans just race game. You got to have that person down there.
Well, that's true. I mean, he's a symbol of the past.
Yeah.
And they look to him, and a lot of people don't understand what Receivers really are. They don't. They still look at the flagman.
Yeah, when a bad call,
made,
or they'll
when
look.
a bad call's made, they're gonna look.
They'll shoot me a bird.
Mm.
They'll look up in the tower and shoot me a bird whenever a bad call's made. I said, God, I don't know no more than you do. I'm just talking about it.
Right over here that did that.
Yeah.
That's true, but I mean, it took a lot of responsibility off of him because, for years we didn't even have a headset.
Yeah.
We did hand signals.
Didn't know what that was. Yeah, you and I used to do that all the time with hand signals. You'd look up, and I rather you'd say, how's number 4 running or number 3 running, or what's the top 5 or something like that. And rather than just spouting it off so you could hear it, I'd make it sound good for the crowd. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's run down that top 5 for you, and make it sound good. At least like I was not just trying to give you information.
We're back in 10.
Oh, 10 seconds. Okay, what are we doing now?
Going straight to NASCAR after the
And then NASCAR,
intro.
we go to a song.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so we're ready for the NASCAR report.
Yep.
Okay. And it's time now for the NASCAR report. And here's Logan Bennett with a little bit about our NASCAR race this past Sunday.
Well, thank you very much, Charles. As we were talking about a little bit behind the scenes here, there really wasn't much to discuss as far as the race itself concerned. Joey Logano dominated every lap barring one, and that may have been right at the start of the race there. Denny Hamlin took second, and Chris Buescher got third there. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the race and why he dominated there. But moreover, I also wanted to touch on what happened after the race after we get through with Joey here.
Yeah, the fight, that was the big thing. Even Joey Logano. Now, Joey Logano said this in an interview this week. He said, man, the fight was something. He said, that was great. And he said, the fight was so good. He said, I don't even remember who won the race. And he won the race. And he's making that comment. I thought that was pretty good for Logano to say that. So now here's what happened. I heard this today about Chris Buescher. This is a cool thing. Chris Buescher today, Buescher started racing in Texas, and he raced Legends cars. He came to Anderson Motor Speedway. He'd race with us over there. He'd race at Charlotte in his Legends car and come to Anderson on Friday nights. And he has a family friend. This is the coolest story. He has a family friend that bought up all of his old race cars, and nobody knew it. And he was collecting them and rebuilding them and making them. And today they had this unveiling. They had him come thinking he was coming for an interview to this big shop. Mm-hmm. And it's a shop full of all of his race cars, every race car he's ever had, whether it was ARCA, late models, Busch cars, Xfinity, whatever. They had every one of his cars that this guy had bought and put in that building and gave them to him and said, here is your history of racing. I mean, he created an entire museum for him. They said that Buescher's not one to show a lot of emotion, but they said, man, he was pretty emotional whenever because they had told him he had tried to find the cars and they had said, no, they've been sold. Somebody's got them. They had no idea that this family friend had bought them all up. Ain't that cool?
It is.
That is cool story.
I think that's one of the coolest things I've ever heard from any racer. Really, that's awesome.
That's great. And Chris Buescher, he's just coming along every week. He's right up there at the front. He may get crashed trying to win it, but he's right up there at the front just about every week. Good kid out of Prosper, Texas. Excited for him. Logan, what we got going on next?
So as far as that fight between Ricky and Kyle Busch,
went down. What happened about that exactly? Do you know exactly what that was about?
First lap of the race,
yeah.
Kyle Busch and Ricky kind of got together, then they kind of got together again. One blames the other blames the other one, and Kyle Busch, of course, blamed Ricky for it. But Ricky comes up to Kyle, and they start talking, and, they're having this, there's a few expletives going around. They're having a kind of a meaty conversation. Then next thing you know, here comes a right hook to Kyle's jaw. Well, then all of a sudden, Ricky Stenhouse Sr., Ricky's dad, gets into it. So anyway, he gets suspended indefinitely, and Ricky gets a $75,000 fine. So it's kind of a steep thing happening. But anyway, that's what happened in the world of NASCAR. It's a big fight this weekend. And there was a race also. It was the All-Star race, no points. So really, it doesn't matter who finished anywhere except first. Joey Logano got the big money. And this weekend, of course, they go to the they now call it the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte. That's always a big event. And Kyle Larson's going to be running both the Indy race and the Coke 600. So we look forward to Larson doing some good things. So that's it from the world of NASCAR. Right now, it's time to talk about what we've been talking. Oh, we got a giveaway. We got the kart giveaway. Yeah.
We'll be getting to that after we play one more song here. We got Colin Ray up right now, Little Red Rodeo right here on My Country 99.3 WCON.
Gosh, thank you, because I was going down to Mark Wills. I was getting ready to do that. I had looked past my time frame there. Thank you for saving me on that.
I was trying to pad a little bit with the NASCAR report.
It didn't sound too bad. Yeah.
I was trying to pad a little with NASCAR because we, for some reason, we came up a little shorter than we usually do by around this
time. We were running late with Ricky.
Were we?
Yeah, we were 3 minutes late. It was 4:76. We were supposed to be out at 4:73.
Yeah, well, after this song.
At 7:43 and 7:46.
Yeah, and after this song, we're not even going to be at 8 yet when that reintro fires.
Cool,
so,
man. We got some time on our hands.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from. I don't know what we're missing here, but I'll take it.
That fight was one of the best promotions there is in racing.
Yeah. Well, that's Dale Jr.
Everybody's coming back next week to see the end of it.
But that's why everybody's complaining, because they said NASCAR puts out a fine of $75,000, but then uses it as a promotional tool and shows it constantly to try to get more fans in the stands.
Well, Tacoma used to stage fights. When you get down, a little low, then Johnny and LB, they'd stage a fight on the front straightaway. And then next week, the place will be packed out, going to see, who's going to win the next one.
Charles Barrett told me a story one time. He said he was always into it with, and I think it was Horace York. He said him and Horace York was always into it. And he said after they quit racing, he said he finally went and saw Horace somewhere one time, and he walked over to him and said, I didn't have anything against you, but he said Garland Sheriff was paying me $25 a week to spin you out. And Horace said he's paying me $25 a week to spin you out. So sometimes you gotta make a little bit of a show there.
That's right. That's promotion.
Yeah.
Horace wouldn't get out of the car without his helmet on. He walked around with his helmet on for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I know. I was on his crew. Me and Leonard Payne. I was on that crew for a long time, and that was Horace was something else. We were always in the thick of something. Not in Yorksville.
Yeah. I seen him hit one with a chain buck down there one night. I thought he killed him.
Well,
that's amazing. That's amazing about racing, though. It's like he said, those cars they built, well, even when I first started, we was building my car in a dirt-floored shop. Building our own motors. We didn't know what scale it was.
I was in the barn, putting my engine together in a barn.
Cotton scales, started, and now look what they've got now, the way these cars out. These things are... I've got one, and they'll look under them. I'm like, I know what it is, but I don't know what it does.
Yeah.
Hey. I got a vintage car.
Yeah.
Real quick, who's our next guest? Is that Robbie Campbell?
Yeah, Robbie's at 8:05.
Okay. All right. Okay, so we'll do when we come back after this song, we'll fire the intro, then we'll do the giveaway, then we'll play that song. We'll come back, announce the winner, and then go straight to him. Okay. Also results. Do you want to do that immediately after the
results? When are results supposed to be? Yeah, we'll do that after the Mark Wills song.
Okay.
Yeah, before we do Robbie.
Got it.
Yeah, we'll do the result. Randy, you want to read over those results? Go.
All right. We got 15 seconds here.
15 seconds. Okay, so, and what are we doing now? We're doing the show intro again.
Yeah, we'll fire the re-intro, announce the giveaway, and then go straight to the song.
Okay, got you. All right.
Stand by.
Good deal. All right.
Country is WCON FM, Cornelia, Athens, Gainesville. This is the Champ Racing Show on My Country 99.3 WCON. Presented by Jackie Jones, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Cleveland. From NASCAR to local tracks, it's everything you need to know with your host, Georgia Racing Hall of Fame announcer, Charles Head.
Yeah, and I'm here today as we get ready for our second hour with Leon Lathan and Randy Collins as we get ready to interview some more guys and talk a little more racing. Right now, it's time for our giveaway. Let's get everybody lined up at your phones and get ready to call us because we have got a giveaway of a kart rental at Atlanta Motorsports Park. Now, if you've not been there and rented a kart, you need to be a part of that thing. It is just so cool to be part of everything that's going on at Atlanta Motorsports Park. Get in there and go down the 30-foot drop off of turn number 2, and you make a 180-degree turn and go right back up the hill. Yeah, you get to do that in the rental karts. 55 miles an hour you get to run on those things. They're outstanding. So we're going to take our second caller at 706-778-0993, 706-778-0993 for Atlanta Motorsports Park. You just got to be over 16 years of age, and they're closed on Monday. That's the only stipulation. You go show up there, take your friends, and enjoy yourself. You get in free. Your friends may have to pay, but anyway, take your friends and impress them with your kart skills at Atlanta Motorsports Park. We'll give you one free pass for that. Right now, it's time for Mark Wills to tell us a little bit about 19-something. We always remember something back about 19-something. Yeah, that's about the way our history goes. Anyway, here he is on My Country 99.3 WCON.
All right.
All right, so now
I'm going
to
get our caller while you guys talk.
Okay. And I forgot to put on, I usually put this on, so when people are scrolling by on Facebook, they see a yellow shirt and they know to stop, and it says Champ Show, and I forgot to put it on tonight.
CON, you are caller number 2.
Here we go. Now I got my shirt on. And you notice how everything's backwards here? But look at it, shows up front. Right?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so anyway, we're supposed to be talking right now. So on Facebook, somebody posted, Jason, you're talking about the Morse Jones Memorial Race. That's a name I'm not familiar with, so I don't know what racetrack that would be or who you're talking about. We were just talking about it here a second ago. None of us recognize that name. What racetrack would that be at? Where did Morse Jones race? Kind of let us know about that if you would, because that's, you know, we're going to have the Rusty Jordan race has got moved to July 5th, maybe. It's somewhere in early July now.
Yeah, it's been moved.
Mm-hmm. They just felt like they didn't have time to really promote it and get the things ready for it. I know that they've got like $2,800, $2,855 right now. They're trying to get $3,555 or something like that for the purse for the winner of the modified street that night. We've had, I guess, 3 of those Rusty Jordan Memorials now, 3, and it's always a big event, and it's big for Lisa and for the family to put that on there at the track. So we hope to do that again this year. That's always a big thing, and man, we just lost Rusty way too early. That just shouldn't have happened. And what got me about Rusty Jordan was every track claimed him as theirs. I mean, he ran every race at Toccoa, he ran every race at Livonia. It seemed like he did every race at Hartwell, but he was such a fixture at every racetrack till every track really needs to have a Rusty Jordan Memorial, not just Livonia, because he was at every track all the time. And such a great guy.
He was a real good one. He was a good kid too.
And he probably helped more of his fellow competitors than anybody. What we got?
We got Clint Williams for our winner for the. For the
okay. I thought you were trying to tell me we needed to do something.
Not yet, but he did want me to pass along that. I think he said he's Jerry Williams' younger and better looking brother.
Oh, okay, Jerry with the vintage cars. Yeah. I got it. All right. Well, I'm sure Jerry will agree to that.
I talked to Jerry Saturday night at Toccoa with their vintage cars.
Yeah.
He's going to try to help me sell the one I got.
Oh, is he? Good.
Yeah.
And well, I know it doesn't run in their current thing they got going, but it will in the NVRA. Yeah.
Yeah. They've changed some body issues. Mine's got some aluminum on it and a fiberglass top for a 55 Chevrolet.
Well, it's still got a late model chassis under it. That's the big thing.
Hey, Charles, real quick, T-minus 10, about to fire the reintro. I'm going to need you to pad for a minute while I get our next caller on the line.
Okay.
While you're doing results.
Okay. All right. So no problem.
All right. Here we go.
Let me know when you got him. Okay.
Get weekend results with the Champ Racing Recap, presented by Jackie Jones Dodge Jeep Ram. Monday morning at 8:45 on My Country 99.3 WCON.
And let me say this, we want to thank Jackie Jones. He has been such a great promoter of racing and a great promoter of this show. Just so fortunate to have him in our racing world, Georgia Racing Hall of Fame. He does a lot with that, and he is just all about racing, and we appreciate that about Jackie. And I know he was a happy fella to see Ford in Victory Lane the past 2 weekends in NASCAR. We got some results, a lot of results in this past weekend. Winder got rained out. Toccoa had part of the program they didn't get in, and Livonia was not scheduled to run, but we got a few results, and I got Randy Collins going to tell you about the results from Toccoa.
Yeah, we had results in the 602 late models was Crandall Turner. Modified Streets was Robbie Campbell. Stock 8 was Lee Parsons. Stock 4, Cameron Fowler. The Pro Truck Series, Ricky Jones. And the 602 Charger was Eli Reese. Yeah, that's probably George's grandson.
It's George. Yeah, he is. And of course, Crandall Turner's going to be on with us a little later. Robbie Campbell is coming up in just a second, and we've had all the others except for Cameron Fowler. Had him on earlier in the year, so we didn't have Cameron on. And I'm still trying to get in touch with Eli. We'll get him on at some point in time. Logan, I think we got somebody on the line now. Who we got?
That would be Robbie Campbell. He's been waiting for just a moment. He should be good to go.
Robbie Campbell is on the line with us. He is here right now, and he was a big winner this past Saturday night at Toccoa. Robbie, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Good to see you, man. Yeah, man. Congratulations. Another good win for you.
Yeah, it turned out good. I really thank God for it. Sometimes you get to wonder if it's ever going to happen again.
Well, I was just going to say, you've had the monkey on your back for a while. You've just had bad luck. Seemed like it reared its ugly head every time you turned around. But you are super fast in that car always. If it'll just stay together till the end of the race.
That's true. Very true.
So tell me about Saturday night's race. How did it go for you?
It went good. I just, of course, had a real good car, but of course, you can't win from the back in this class. I mean, it takes a really, really good race car to be able to pass as good a competition as we have. So, got to start up front, draw a good number. That was the first, and then of course got to start beside a real good guy, an even better friend, Billy Buffton, who gave me a good clean start. Of course, I jumped him on the first one. I guess my nerves got to me just a little bit, but I was able to get out front, and of course, just try to hit my marks. But for the most part, it was just everything sort of lining up for me.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, it turned out good for you, and it was good to see you back in Victory Lane once again.
It's great to be there. It really is.
Now, tell me why you went with a white car instead of a red car.
Well, my dad, he's always run red. He had a lot of success back in the 90s running red, and we run it. And I just sort of was a little bit tired of it, and just wanted to do something a little different. I still love a red race car. I just wanted to see it a little different color. And for the past, I think, 2 or 3 seasons, we run it white.
Yeah.
And, we may change it back up and go back with some red sides and stuff on it next season. I sort of had that maybe planning ahead, and maybe, we got to change the body most every year anyway. So, and it's just about as easy to put red as it is white, and just be a little bit different.
Yeah. For a long time, Modified Street, which I still say one of my favorite classes, Modified Street. I just like the fact that they look like a car somewhat like you'd find in the showroom. But we have gone away from you used to have to run stock doors and stock hood and those kind of things. We've gotten away from that now. Is there anything of a stock body on those cars at all, or is everything fabricated from sheet metal now?
Most everything's fabricated from sheet metal, and I think the reason being is just everything's so scarce. The older cars have gotten used up. There's very little stock bodies out there that you can use because, like your geometric cars, your Oldsmobiles, your Pontiac Le Mans, Malibu, stuff like that, were very popular race cars, Camaros, and those bodies got used up. There's really not any available.
Yeah.
So, and even the stock 8 guys, they're allowing them to use aluminum sides and doors and stuff like that. I think they still have to run a factory steel top, but they're just trying to find quarter panels and fenders when they get beat up and banged up. It's pretty tough.
Well, I know that we went through a period of time when Modified Street looked like it was kind of waning. We'd have 4 or 5 cars show up. Looks like that division's starting to get a few more cars in it now, and that's good.
It is. You got that Cruiser series that started, and that sort of put them back, the popularity. Some of the people who are maybe used to driving the late model classes are starting to back up Royce Bray. Some of them guys has come into the Modified Street scene. I don't know if it's necessarily the money as much as it is just the traveling and all that goes along with the late model stuff, but nevertheless, it seems to be building up. And another big point I'd like to make, anybody that don't understand just what real competition is, when you show up at a racetrack and there's 10 cars in your class, and there's 9 of them there out of that 10 that can win.
Yeah, that's the thing about it.
Very competitive.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Robbie, hang on a minute. We got to take a quick break and come back and talk some more. You good with that?
Sure, yeah.
Robbie Campbell, driver of the number 37, white number 37, is on our program tonight. We'll be back with him in just a few moments. It is the Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Champ Show on My Country 99.3 WCON.
Sunday night racing at Toccoa Raceway. That's right, Toccoa Raceway remembers and honors those who serve and have served this Memorial Day weekend on Sunday night. It all starts Sunday afternoon at 4:30 as Music by Renegade hits the stage. The drivers' meeting is scheduled for 6:30. Kids' float races and fireworks will highlight the night as well. Oh, and did we mention racing? 9 hot divisions of great dirt track racing coming your way. See the best of the best drivers in the South tackle the 5/16 mile bull ring. The high banks of Toccoa Racing will come alive this Sunday night as we honor veterans on Memorial Day weekend.
When you're a get-the-job-done kind of guy, the type of truck you get behind matters. It needs to be tough, trustworthy, and above all, it needs to be a Ram. America's longest-lasting pickup trucks and trusted by more than get-the-job-done type of guys than any other truck on the road. Take advantage of the Ram clearance sale right now. All Rams in stock sold below invoice at Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Highway 129 Cleveland. The best price every time, period.
The Addison Agency is your one-stop for all your insurance needs. Home, auto, life, commercial, farm, and annuities. They're the insurance agents for Debbie and me. You can find them in Toccoa at Design Point. That's just across Rose Lane from Colts and Clark. See Daryl, Bonda, Colby, or Mary Ann for the best quotes from Auto Owners Insurance. Call them tomorrow morning, 706-886-1247. The Addison Agency is our insurance agency. Make sure they're yours, too.
If you're looking for late model used car parts, look no further than Peach State Auto Parts on the Royston Highway in Cannon. That's in the Gold Mine community on Highway 29 between Hartwell and Royston. Scott Heumann and his staff also buy scrap metal, copper, and aluminum cans. They will pick up your junk cars for free. If you need roll-off bins or containers for business or construction, call on Peach State Auto Parts and Recycling. Call Scott today at 706-245-4407. That's 706-245-4407.
Mid-South Cage Equipment is one of the largest builders of poultry houses in the Southeast. At Mid-South, they welcome your questions about new technology in the poultry growing industry. From construction to final equipment installation, Mid-South Cage Equipment is your one-stop shop for the poultry grower. Chore time bins and augers, Ziggy drinking systems, and cool air handling systems are just a few of the top brands available at Mid-South Cage Equipment on Highway 29 north of Royston.
This is the Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Champ Racing Show with Charles Head on My Country 99.3 WCON.
Robbie, I guess you know I got a couple of ne'er-do-wells here on the show with me tonight as co-host Leon Lathan and Randy Collins. I think Leon's got a question for you.
Hi, Robbie.
Hey, buddy.
Tell us who your sponsors are and who helps you with your car. You know, all these guys, sometimes, you know, the announcers, they don't get a chance to really tell who helps you on your cars. And a lot of those sponsors, you know, they need to be mentioned. I mean, it sort of helps their business, you know, and I know you appreciate them.
I really do. These guys, you know, they sacrifice so that we can have a lot of fun. But I use Fred Justice with Justice Exterminating, a great friend. I love him. Jason Wood, Valor Concrete, Mark Irewood at Irewood Plumbing. Chuck Cantrell Towing, Matt McKay, Waste Away. I had to make a list, of course. I couldn't remember all of them. Wendell Norton at Safety Plus, Lee Parson Construction, Sean Gregg at 626 Upholstery, my good friend Brian Williams at GTS Custom, and of course Josh Holcomb with Performance Industrial Construction. He's been a big help, and of course Adrian Sheriff A+ Signs. He helps us make it look good. In the shop, of course I got my dad who's just absolutely loved this sport. Sometimes I get to thinking I could quit, then I see his motivation and drive.
True.
Makes me,
Very true.
It just raises my morale a little bit. But
Very true.
Alex Brown, a really big help around the shop. He don't matter how big the mud hole is or how greasy and nasty it is. He's willing to crawl under and help.
Yeah.
And then I got Hoyt Stevens and Mark Wilbanks is just a phone call away or just a conversation away from helping me on the car.
Right.
David Osborne, Chris Osborne, some of my favorite people in the world.
Right.
David Osborne, he's one of the, in my eyes, he's really one of the entrepreneurs of dirt track racing. I mean, he's the one that, when I think of dirt track racing, I think of C.L. Pritchett and Buck Simmons and David Osborne and,
True.
Some of them guys have been around for a long time. They're just great masterminds of the sport.
It's true.
So
you're right. But it's good to have it's good to have a big long list that you have to write down.
Yeah.
Because if it was just two or three, it wouldn't be. You could still do it, but it wouldn't be where you are now with all the help and sponsors and the people that's supporting you.
You had to get one of those big old plastic wings like we used to have on the side of late models. Put all those sponsors on.
That's right. And a big shout out to my wife. She really sacrifices a lot to make it possible for us to do this. She's supportive. She's in the trailer with me every week, keeping my helmet clean and putting tire offs on. I mean, she's really a big part, making sure my seat belts is buckled right and smacks me around a little bit when I'm out of line.
There you go.
Just all aspects of life, she's great.
Well, hey, Robbie, you and Julie are in ministry. Tell us a little bit about how that's going.
Well, it's really good. God has really been moving in our lives and in our church that we go to. We're the youth ministers at our church, the Alto Congregational Holiness. Just a great church family. We just, I get to preach from time to time. I don't claim to be a, fancy evangelist or whatever, but sometime the door's open. I get to preach, get to glorify my personal Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and I just love it. And, not only do I get to preach every once in a while, sometimes the good Lord brings me somebody to the shop down here I get to minister to and talk to. So, the ministry is going well.
Good.
Really
Very good. Very good.
Glad
That's
to hear
something to be proud of.
Yeah. And I guess we'll see you Sunday night, right?
If everything works out, I'm planning on being there.
Good.
Okay.
Well, we look forward to seeing you then. Congratulations on the win. You got one under your belt already this year, so let's hope you get a bunch more.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, Robbie.
All right. See you Sunday, Robbie.
Robbie Campbell has been our guest. We got a little bit of Tricia Yearwood coming up. She's a Georgia girl from just down the road in Monticello. Here she goes with X's and O's.
All right.
Oh, I thought you'd already started it.
I had not. No, that was on
I
me.
thought I had seen the clock. I thought I was already talking over the intro.
Nah.
Okay. Not a problem. All right. So, Ron Young's coming up next, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now let's talk a little bit more about what have you seen as far as competition change? Is competition tighter than it was back in 60s or 70s? Or is it still just as tight today as it was then? What's changed as far as the actual racing?
Well, I don't know. You see one thing, the parents are a little financial better off now than they were then. And you're seeing a lot of these kids coming off of go-karts.
Yeah.
Go-karts really teaches you finesse and being smooth.
Well, that's one thing I want both of y'all's input on this. Both of y'all have experience in karts. You had experience driving them, and Randy, you got experience with the flags and the karts. I had never been exposed to go-karts, so I got involved with the folks up at Atlanta Motorsports Park. And these kids, man, these 5, 6, 7-year-old kids, they are learning what competition's all about in the go-kart ranks. I'm amazed at what I see.
You can tell some of the new beginner drivers that they've had a lot of seat time on go-karts because when they get in the car, is how smooth they are.
Yeah.
You know how but these new cars they've got, you have to be smooth with them because the technology of them is, everything on it is just so close. I mean, the steering and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Back
Not like them old sloppy 55 Chevrolets we used to be
have
in.
to turn this wheel 3 rounds to get in the corner. Well, I mean, and that, you know, plus the modern technology of the cars, I'd say are easier to drive than what they used to. Now they got, you know, used to, they wasn't no power steering. There wasn't none of that stuff. And you just had to manhandle them. And now they got these boys coming on, you know, that's 16, 17 years old, graduating off of go-karts, basically. Not saying it's all of them, but normally they're experiencing seat time of being smooth, and the setups on go-kart they're just so touchy, you know. And you learn how to set them up and what makes them work and what makes them not work. And they're moving, and their little minds are just transferring it right into all this racing technology that they've got.
In the asphalt world, we used to see a lot of guys starting legends.
Yeah.
But there's really no dirt legends. They wanted to start those things on dirt. You know, there was a few times that they ran at Toccoa a couple of times back in the early 90s, but that never really took off on dirt. They become an asphalt thing only.
Right.
But we see a lot of drivers coming from legends cars into asphalt racing. But when it comes to dirt racing, I think a lot of those kids are coming from quarter midgets or they're coming from cars.
Yeah,
Cars.
They are.
Yeah.
I think you're right. The world is, I mean, I don't even know how you explain the new generation that's coming on. They're so much smarter, I'd say, now than they were when I come on. You know, I mean, my gosh, these kids now, 5 and 6 years old, they're whiz on their computers and cell phones and things. And I'm sitting here saying, all I know how to do is just swipe it and say hello.
That's it.
Well, and not only that, but you got the internet. You can watch a YouTube video on how to build an engine.
Right.
Back in our day, you took something apart and say, "What's this? Where's this lifter go?"
Right.
And you know, you had to start just trying to lay it out there and try to remember where everything went because there wasn't any. You didn't know anything.
Because you can really tell the beginners that's coming on. Like, you know, we have practice at Toccoa, and a lot of these younger guys, I won't say kids, they're the younger generation coming on. And the ones that you want to try to help, you can tell instantly the ones that you talk to that's going to listen and do what you ask them to do.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, look at Brady and some of them boys. I mean, they're
Brady Cornett. Yeah.
They're right up. I mean, and
they're coachable. That's the thing about it. That's what you've always said about a flagman. If they'll listen to what you say and they're coachable, you got somebody you can work with.
And they will if they'll shut their car off and look you in the eye. From the old military deal of being an instructor, you know, of how to approach people and how to talk to people.
Yeah.
And you catch those, and you know you're fixing to make you're another race car driver.
Yeah.
And they pick it up quick.
I always tickle these kids. I interview some of these kids that are 8, 9, 10 years old.
Yeah.
And you'll talk to them and you'll say, you know, you go to school on Monday and the teacher's going around the room, what'd you do this weekend? Well, I want to race in Las Vegas this weekend on cars. The other kids say, I made a flower. Yeah, I mean, pretty good bragging rights for some of these little folks.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you know, and it thrills me to work with them and see them accomplish. The new generation is coming on to keep our dirt tracks alive, or racing.
Yeah.
Racing in
And
general.
we're fortunate.
Racing.
We got 4 tracks in 35 miles of each other. And I mean, I know that hurts us in some way because there's not enough cars to go around.
True.
But man, there's some people that have to pull 4 and 5 hours to get their closest racetrack.
Right.
We're very fortunate.
And a lot of these people, they don't understand. I mean, it's really amazing that what goes into opening a racetrack on Saturday night.
Yeah.
The process that goes through during the week with all the food and drinks and prepping the racetrack and fixing flat tires and putting in fuel. And I mean, it's just a continuous, I mean, cleaning bathrooms and cleaning the towers and fixing the concession stand. And, you know, I mean, it's just on and on and on. I mean, it's
T-minus 10. We got Ron Young on the line.
Okay, good, thanks. All right,
but
so
it's amazing, you know, what these promoters go through.
Yeah.
And it's hard to find help.
All right, stand by. Here we go.
Dirt tracks. We're talking racing on the Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Champ Racing Show on My Country 99.3 WCON.
One of my favorite drivers from back in the 90s is on the line with us right now. He called me the other day, and I hadn't heard from him in forever, and he said, you know who this is? And I had no idea. And as soon as he said Ron Young, that red and silver number 4 car just came into my mind. I knew exactly who he was. Ron, how in the world are you, man?
How you doing, Charles Head?
I am doing great. It's good to hear from you.
Yes, sir. Likewise.
So now you were in the NASCAR All-Pro Series. I think that's where you made your mark. Of course, you raced at Lanier and Peach State, and you were a regular at those tracks. But you were with the NASCAR All-Pro Series, and I remember you won a big race at Peach State. And I remember when you won, you got out and you stood on top of the car, and you were celebrating like nobody I'd ever seen celebrating that kind of thing before. But that wasn't your first win. You got a win in Martinsville, didn't you?
Yep, my first win was in Martinsville. Well, my first win was in at Lanier National Speedway when I was supposedly 16, but I was 15.
Yeah, we know how that goes. I think we've all had that situation at one point or another in our lives. So now, how did you sneak in and Bud let you by with that?
I guess just told a story.
He'd just rather not say.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, so, Ron, how did you get started in racing? I know when I saw you, you were already running late models and running asphalt and so forth. Were you always an asphalt driver?
Yep. Yeah, my whole career.
Okay. So you started, what division did you start in? Was it a sportsman or what kind of division did you start in?
No, I actually started in late models.
Oh, did you? Went straight to late models.
Yep.
Now, your family...
And my dad went to Lanier Speedway, and we sat there from 4 o'clock till the super late models come out, and he said, hey, which one you want? And I said, I want that one. So, anyway.
What year was that?
Dude, that was like 19, I was 16 years old, 15, 16.
17.
So what year would that have been, roughly?
Oh, Lord.
Was that early 90s or late 80s?
1990.
90. Okay, yeah. Well, I was already at Lanier at that point, so I probably saw you in your first race and didn't even know that was your first race at that time. Man, back in those days, you had Wayne Willard and you had Mike Love and you had Clay Dale and you had Frederick Moore, and I'm trying to think of all the guys. Mitchell Barrett. You had some really great super late model drivers.
Yep, sure did. Yeah, I built a lot of Mitchell's cars, and we had a race shop up there close to Road Atlanta. So.
Oh, did you? I didn't know y'all had a shop up there.
Yep.
Well, now you're out of Conyers, but you're out of Conyers. That's where you resided at that time. Are you still in Conyers now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and your family still runs the plumbing business?
Yes, sir. Wyco Plumbing, Conyers,
Gotcha.
Georgia.
Yeah. So, what do you do during your days now? What makes up Ron Young's schedule?
Do a little bit of fabricating work, take care of my parents, and take care of my kids. Got 2 of them graduated from UGA.
Wow.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. How about that? Hey, Ron, hang on. We're going to take a quick break and come back and talk some more. You good with that?
Fine.
All right. Ron Young, one of my great buddies in the NASCAR All-Pro Series, Ron Young, is with us. We got more to come. Jackie Jones, Chrysler Dodge Champ Show. We're on My Country 99.3 WCON.
Bowling Farm Supply is like a step back in time. Remember when you go to the feed store with your dad or granddad? Well, at Bowling Farm Supply, you can relive those great memories. Of course, they have feed, seed, and fertilizer along with soil, hay, and mulch, but they have so much more. A massive selection of knives. Names like Case, Buck, Poker, Hen, and Rooster, and handmade knives. Face jugs, antiques, Zippo lighters. It's more than just a feed store. It's a unique shopping experience. Bowling Farm Supply is located at the corner of Highway 198 and Damascus Road in Homer. Stop in today.
The open road, it's filled with twists and turns, hills and valleys, but what lies beyond that open road? A Jeep owner knows, because they can go beyond the road to places that only a Jeep can take them. Right Right now, you can take advantage of unheard of rebates and discounts at Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, with all Jeeps in stock below invoice because Jackie Jones is overstocked with new Jeeps. That's Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Cleveland, Georgia. The best price every time, period.
Hey, let me tell you about one of my absolute favorite racetracks, Atlanta Motorsports Park. It's the ultimate motorsports playground. From the high-performance F1 style road course to the challenging extreme kart track, you'll find Atlanta Motorsports Park a facility like no other. The country club atmosphere features not only the performance of the high-powered racing machines, but also a putting green, a great pool area for lounging, and a world-class skid pad to learn how to handle any out-of-control situation. The kart track is a mainstay for those who want to rent a kart for an experience like no other. Check out the schedule of activities at atlantamotorsportspark.com. It's in Dawsonville. Just follow the signs to fun.
Modern Tire and All-Terrain of Hartwell is all set to equip you with the best tires on the market today. They offer all major brands of tires for your car or truck, as well as your off-road and all-terrain vehicles. They have tractor and farm implement tires too. Brakes, alignments, oil changes, equipment rentals, and roadside assistance are always available at Modern Tire and All-Terrain. Plus, they're your home for truck accessories too. Lift kits and leveling kits available for purchase or installation. And also racing supplies and performance shocks to help the local dirt track racer. Financing is available on all purchases. That's Modern Tire on 293 West Howell Street in Hartwell.
The Baja is back in action this Saturday night. Winder Barrow Speedway is home of some of the best grassroots racing in the South. Scheduled divisions are limited late models, 602 Hobby, Modified Street, Stock 8, Stock 4A, and Stock 4B. Gates open at 4 with racing starting at 7. That's racing this Saturday night at Winder Barrow Speedway. Head to the Baja at 330 Donahue Road in Winder.
Get weekend results with the Champ Racing Recap, presented by Jackie Jones Dodge Jeep Ram. Monday morning at 8:45 on My Country 99.3 WCON.
Ron Young joins us on the program. Leon Lathan and Randy Collins are my co-host here. And Ron, when was the first time I had you on the radio? What was it after? What win do you remember that?
That was the first win at Lanier National Speedway.
Oh, really?
When I was 16, 15, whatever you want to call it.
When you were that fudging age, right?
That's right.
Gosh, that's pretty cool.
He introduced me, and I tell you who else introduced me was Jimmy Mostello.
Oh, Jimmy Mostello, yeah, my good friend Jimmy Mostello. I tell you what, the racing world owes a whole lot to Jimmy Mostello. You know, the wing
That's right.
wing that we have at the Hall of Fame is the Jimmy Mostello wing for all the media and the announcers and the writers and all that. So he did a lot for the world of racing. Do you know he was the first announcer at Toccoa Raceway? And that's who I idolized when I was about 4 or 5 years old. I said, I want to do what that guy does. And so it came to fruition many, many years later. But Jimmy Mostello was the man.
Yep. The Have a Tampa
guy, yeah. So now, Ron, what's your favorite memory of racing? Is it something at Lanier? Is it Peach State? Is it one of the wins at Martinsville or one of the other all-pro tracks? What's your number one memory that comes out to you?
I had no idea. I mean, how much time you got?
We got a minute and a half. Tell me what you can in a minute and a half.
Minute and a half. The most memorable race was my first win at Lanier when you introduced me, and I won when I was 15, 16, whatever you want to call it.
Well, now, and again, we've talked about some of the guys that you raced against. That was a monumental feat. We were just talking about during the break. For you to start out in super late model against those kind of drivers, man, that took a lot of guts.
That's right. Well, I mean, I had the confidence, and I wasn't cocky, just confident. You know?
Well, there's a fine line between those two, and I'm not sure you didn't cross it every once in a while.
Well, every now and then, baby.
Oh, gosh. Really good time. So when did you run your last race?
About a year and a half ago.
And where was that?
Yeah, we went to Caraway Speedway.
Caraway? I have not been to that racetrack. That's one I have not visited. What's it like?
It's pretty nice.
Is it a 3/8 or a half mile or what?
It's about 4/10. Yeah, it's a little bit different.
Sort of like Opp, Alabama, 4/10 of a mile.
Yep, never been to Opp.
Oh, you never been to Opp? Man, that's a great racetrack. You got to go there sometime. Go down there for the Rattler. That's always fun.
That's right. That's right.
Well, listen, Ron, who all helped you in your racing career? I know your parents were very big in it. Who else, maybe not family oriented, that really helped you get a start in this thing?
Doug Fowler, Stan Malden, which is he's big in that Ride of America for the wounded veterans and all that.
Sure. They got a big ride coming up this weekend to the wall in Washington. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just a lot of friends and family, you know.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, it was refreshing whenever you called me the other day and said, you know who this is? And I was so excited to hear from you. It's great to reconnect with you again. And we need to sit down and do some bench racing sometime, spend 3 or 4 hours telling lies and stories, okay?
They won't be no lies. They'll be maybe stretching the truth or something.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, Ron, thanks so much for taking time to be with us tonight. We appreciate it.
All right, Charles, hey, I definitely appreciate you calling me and definitely appreciate you reaching out.
All right, thanks so much. Ron Young has been our guest. Yeah, good old days of NASCAR All-Pro Racing with Ron Young. Right now, it's time for Alabama, and you know what? I'm in a hurry to get things done on My Country 99.3 WCON. Okay. All right, now we're back. Yep. He's a good guy. Yeah. he's a fun guy. Let's tell you what, he's fun to be around all the time.
I'd say you're right.
Yeah. You can tell by listening to him. He is wow, man. He's out there all the time.
But I do appreciate you asking me to be here. You know, I've been doing this seemed like forever.
Well, you know, when racing's in your blood, you just can't really get away from it. I've missed the people this year. Right. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody this weekend, so that's going to be fun.
But, you know, I've tried a little bit of it all and was really blessed. You know, I went to a lot of racetracks and worked for some great promoters and met a bunch of nice people that, you know, still I see them occasionally. And
yeah.
The names are getting harder to remember, but I remember their car number.
Yeah, I know.
I remember numbers.
That's the thing about it, and you know, there's something about that when you see a name, automatically that car color and that car number pops into your memory
number real quick.
Yeah.
Then the names, I'm like, oh gosh.
And I remember telephone numbers like that. It's 2 race cars, whatever that 2 numbers is. Like my daughter's is Michael Waltrip and Jeff Gordon, 5524.
Right.
You know.
Well, my house phone is 2141.
Oh, really?
21 for Vernon Manus and 41 for Buck Simmons.
How about that? Yeah, that's an easy way to remember it right there. I bought my first race car from Vernon Manus.
Yeah,
but I appreciate you inviting me up here for this. It's been fun. I've enjoyed this.
Oh, glad you have. It's a little different than.
Well, you know, when you reminisce about everybody talks racing, and a lot of them said, "Oh, here we go again, reminiscing about the past, the good old days." And I was like, "Yeah, buddy, you just don't remember." It was tough. But
I was listening to Ricky Rudd today, an interview he was doing with Dave Moody on the Sirius NASCAR network, and he was saying that his first race, I mean, he'd never been in a race car, and he went in Winston Cup at Rockingham. That was his very first time in a race car, and he finished 11th. And Moody was saying, "Man, you finished 11th." He said, "Dave, you got to understand, 12 cars finished the race." He said, "I was 37 laps down, but I finished 11th.
Yeah.
So the good old days, you know, ain't always, you know, Richard Petty used to win a race by 3 laps over the second place car.
Yeah.
That ain't racing.
No.
And so nowadays, I'm glad to see this tight competition.
Yeah.
But we still like to talk about the good old days, but I'm not sure they really were in a lot of respects.
There was some really, really talented drivers come along, you know.
Yeah.
I just always look back as how talented people but you know, Buck, and especially CL.
Yeah.
He just stuck out in my mind. You could watch him race at Livonia, and you just watch him the tracks. When he'd go in the corner, I promise you, he'd be within 1 inch of where he was at the lap before.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's just talent with, you know, good equipment that they worked on and had a lot of pride in their stuff.
Yeah. I like to encourage these young drivers to try to visit as many tracks as they can. I think that a driver learning to adapt to a different racetrack very quickly helps them at their local track too, because track conditions change. It's not like an asphalt track where it's going to be the same every week. Right. Track conditions change a lot.
Yeah, in Toccoa, you know, it's an adrenaline track.
Oh yeah,
it's fast and it's little and it's really fast, and it seems like they're just getting faster because the track prep is just outstanding. I mean, you know, maybe just. And may knock on wood, maybe this week it may go up in a cloud of smoke, but I mean, this been almost dust free.
Well, remember the days when we used to show up and it was just a mud hole? I mean,
Right.
you'd have to get out there in jalopies and just
That's
run.
what you raced on.
That's right.
You started
raced
out on that.
There was never a time when there wasn't a whole bunch of puddled water down at the inside.
But this show Sunday, I mean, for anybody out there that hadn't been going to races or hadn't been, I feel like it'd be really a fun place.
Well,
to
let's
go.
talk about the poke salad parade too. Make
Yeah,
sure you talk
yeah.
about that.
Yeah. Well, they got a brochure out showing this poke salad parade. I think Deborah Golston is one of the sponsors or whatever, and there's a number on that flyer as to who you need to contact. And they're gonna have food, and there's gonna be a parade.
Yeah, from Walmart.
And I was talking to Mike
toward town, I think.
Talked to Mike today, and he was telling me that they have been trying to get Toccoa Raceway involved in this poke salad deal, know. And now they're involved, and I think Mark Wilbanks may be taking his race car.
Yeah, there's going to be a truck there, I think. Maybe a stock 8 also.
I believe the 58 truck will be there.
Yeah.
And I think Mike and Jackie both involved in it big.
Yeah.
It's going to be Saturday afternoon at 5 o'clock.
Right.
So, it'd be a good deal. They can come and see that and then go right on to Livonia and see a race down there with Randy, They'll be glad to have you. And then I see where Hartwell's fixing to fire up and go.
Yeah.
So, like you said, I'm glad to see the racetrack's holding on, but it's really hard on the car count.
Yeah, it is. It's hard to make money when you got so many tracks competing like that.
Especially with what it costs
Yeah.
to run a racetrack now.
Oh, where we at?
With 10 seconds, you're going to have to pat. I can't get them all.
Okay. Try that other number, the 491 then.
Yeah. 5 seconds.
Okay, I'll just take it from here.
It's pedal to the metal with the Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Champ Racing Show on My Country 99.3 WCON.
And Crandall, if you're listening, we're trying to call your number, and for some reason it's not going through. So send me a text with that right number and make sure that I got it correct, because we tried both numbers that I had for you, and we can't get you on either one. So I know you're standing by and waiting on us. So give us a quick shout on that and let us know exactly what is happening with that phone system. Anyway, Crandall Turner's going to join us, and y'all were both there at the racetrack on Saturday night. And Crandall put on Facebook. He said, "Man, I hate somebody had bad luck for me to win a race." But Frankie Beard is always strong. Man, he is so tough, especially in that 602 division. He was strong in limited or whatever race, but in 602 he is very strong, great car.
Then here
but
comes Crandall.
Something happened to him.
Yeah, well, he got up in the loose stuff trying to get by a lap car, and unfortunate for him. And then, I was sitting there watching the race, and even though, when Frankie went out, as the race went on, I kept watching Crandall, and it seemed like that his car just kept coming to him because he just kept putting a distance on the second place car.
Yeah.
And I feel like, if Frankie hadn't went out, that
it'd been a race there.
I think it'd been a real race there, because Crandall was really coming on strong.
His car got better the last 7-8 laps. It started coming in.
It looked like he was just on the rail.
Hopefully we'll talk to Crandall about this in just a minute if we can get him on the line. He went through a downtime. I mean, he had trouble with that car for a while. Could not carburetor problems. Couldn't get it to fire, couldn't get it to handle. Just about everything that could go wrong with the car went wrong with it. And then he slowly started getting everything back together and got it in good shape now. And so he's competitive. That's good to see.
What really put him down was the car they bought that'd been through 2 or 3 hands, and nobody could make it work. And I think he had the idea that he could, and I think it just sort of really put a bad taste in his mouth when he couldn't make that car work. And then he had some carburetor issues or fuel issues or whatever it was.
Yeah.
That was the same car we couldn't get to work.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally got rid of it, and he's got him a nice ride now.
Got him a train. It's a train chassis.
Well, a train chassis going to make a difference, yeah. So what caused, is a car been wrecked so much that the frame just doesn't stay consistent whenever you set it up, or what happens?
It's just like motors. You can build 2 identical motors, and one of them's a horse and one of them is weak.
Yeah.
Right.
And you buy these chassis, and for some unknown reason, I don't think they can even explain it, that some of those chassis they build, they're just more flexible than others. And when you set it up, it won't hold the setup, and you go back and check it and it's off. Really, I don't know that much about it, but, from listening to them talk.
Yeah, them frames, them short up like Lucas Oil, they'll run them things and they'll twist and flex, and then they throw them away after 10 races, you know.
Yeah, then one of us guys gets one, and I mean, it's like me, it's wore out when you get it.
Well, sometimes with race cars like that, I remember Kyle Petty talking about one, and he said, cut it up and throw it in the scrap barrel. He said, I could tell the first time I went out that you can't adjust it enough to ever get it right. He said, cut it up and throw it in the scrap bin.
Yeah.
Yeah, but some of these boys spend their last dime to get one.
I know,
They can't do that.
you
They
can't
just
do
have
that.
to they just have to keep adjusting,
That's right.
Till they can do better. It's a very expensive sport.
And the tech. Find out. We got Crandall on the line, by the way. He's on Facebook Messenger calling us right now. We're trying to get him on the line and actually talk to him on the radio. So we have made contact with Crandall. We're trying to work on that. But we were talking about the technology changes so quickly. Those 602s are supposed to be older models.
Yeah, well, say that was a bad deal to start with, in my opinion. I mean, everybody's got an opinion, but how do you prove that it's a certain model?
Right. Well, they
got
out
serial numbers,
and they were under the seat, and then people were cutting them out.
They don't put chassis
out.
So how do you prove it?
Right.
So what's the difference in having, for right now, if you say it's got to be a 2017 car,
right?
Okay, and you got a 2016. Well, you go up here and buy all the latest technology.
Hang on, we got an update from Logan. Logan,
we do got an update.
What model is it?
Right. I sent him the number.
Plates on it.
Guys, hang on. What?
I sent the number his way. We're going to see if we can get him to call us at the station here. Storming pretty bad outside. I think it's storming where he's at too. So the signal's pretty bad right now. He's tried calling us back, but keep talking about what you're talking about. I'll see if I can get him on the line.
Maybe he can call on a landline and get through to us. Let's hope so. Okay, so we're still waiting on Crandall, and we actually have a little extra time tonight. We built in a little extra time, so we still got time to talk to Crandall when he comes on.
Let me do something while we
Yes,
do
sir.
this. My daughter,
you
Kristen
gotta say
Collins,
this.
is graduating high school tomorrow night. Also, my nephew, Hunter Collins, is graduating tomorrow night.
That's pretty cool. That's Chris and Pam's son and Rebecca's daughter.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they've been going to the racetrack since we've took Kristen when she was 2 years old.
Yeah.
My whole family's been around it.
Yeah.
So,
that's good. I'm glad they're going to be graduating tomorrow night. What a big milestone. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. How about that? You remember those days? High school days? That was a long time ago, wasn't it?
Quite a while back. Hey, some of it still sticks out, though, because, I was always, I don't know, I was always up for some kind of a joke or a kid or a prank or something.
Well, the biggest prank I remember, Leon, and I'm going to tell this in radio world as well as Facebook world, Leon decided we're going to have a race all the way around the racetrack one night at Toccoa, and a foot race. Well, Leon gets over on the back straightaway and fakes a heart attack. Falls down and grabs his chest like he's having a heart attack back there. And, I mean, everybody just goes crazy. And that's a pretty cruel joke you played there.
I thought it was funny. It wasn't too funny when some of them, with the choice words they gave me, they found out I was joking.
Oh, goodness gracious. Well, Crandall just sent me a message and said the only way that he can do this is on Facebook Messenger. He can't get any phone line to go through. So storms must be pretty bad there.
Yeah, it sounded pretty rough.
And we don't have any way of putting Facebook Messenger on radio, so that's not going to work out. So anyway, we can talk about Crandall's race. We talked about how strong that he's been and getting better and better each week. It's good to see that. And I know he really appreciates Caston, his crew chief Caston, helping him out.
This week, I saw pictures of some of his crew members this week is up under working on his unit. He may really get fast now.
He may, but he's always got Noel working with him, and Hunter. That's a good family. They eat, sleep, drink, and breathe racing. They always have. I noticed Debbie, his mama, was on a while ago talking about Crandall finally got him win and how happy he was with that.
Well, see, he's getting his qualifying down. And at Toccoa.
That helps. Oh, yeah.
Oh, and if you don't qualify good, well, Robbie said that a while ago.
Yeah, I mean, even modified street, yeah.
Even any of those classes, that track is...
It's qualifying every lap.
They're qualifying every lap.
That's right.
And the track prep and the way the track's laid out. And, that's what I was saying Sunday. If these guys hadn't seen a race, then I think, weather permitting and everything shows up the way I think it would be, then It'll shock you.
Yeah.
I mean, it really does.
Well, you know, I one of the things I want to talk about when we come back after this break is I think the line around Toccoa has changed a little bit. The way that they run the track from the way it used to be back in the old days, the way that maybe more clay or whatever.
Well, yeah, but see, back in the day, it had 2 straightaways.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But now,
it didn't have that D shape.
Now it's a
now
D
we got
shape.
the D in the
Yeah, it's
back.
like a reverse of Dixie.
Yeah.
All right, hang on a minute. We're going to take a quick break and come back, and we're going to talk more. With Crandall, we're going to talk about you all we can. That's all I can say. Thanks so much. It's the Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Champ Show. We're on My Country 99.3 WCON.
Sunday night racing at Toccoa Raceway. That's right, Toccoa Raceway remembers and honors those who serve and have served this Memorial Day weekend on Sunday night. It all starts Sunday afternoon at 4:30 as Music by Renegade hits the stage. The drivers' meeting is scheduled for 6:30. Kids' foot races and fireworks will highlight the night as well. Oh, and did we mention racing? 9 hot divisions of great dirt track racing coming your way. See the best of the best drivers in the South tackle the 5/16 mile bull ring. The high banks of Toccoa Racing will come alive this Sunday night as we honor veterans on Memorial Day weekend.
For all your welding and safety equipment needs, it's Safety Plus in Cornelia. Wendell and Pat Norden can supply you with the best equipment in the industry. Miller and Lincoln Welders, Victor torches, gloves, fire extinguishers, and personal protective equipment, all in stock at Safety Plus in Cornelia. They have everything to keep you and your work environment safe and under control. Safety Plus is located on Cannon Bridge Road. Safety Plus, a proud sponsor of racetracks and drivers in our area.
I've just got to tell you about the folks at J&C Auto Care in Toccoa. My truck was blowing oil all over the place. Well, I took it to several places who just couldn't figure out what was going on. But Jason and Clay knew exactly what to do. And you know why? They've been voted the best repair shop in Toccoa 2 years running. They're locally owned and operated. Check them out at 70 Mize Road in Toccoa. J&C Auto Care.
M&M Used Cars in Jefferson has a great selection of late model full-size trucks. Check out their extensive truck inventory. Full-size diesel and gas models from which to choose. If you're looking for a low-mileage, late-model, full-size truck, chances are they have exactly the one meant for you at M&M Used Cars. Check out the extensive inventory at MNMUsedCarsJefferson.com. That's MNMUsedCarsJefferson.com. Or stop by at 1312 Washington Street in Jefferson and see them in person. Apply for credit right on the website. 24-hour chat available as well. M&M Used Cars in Jefferson.
Stay out of the kitchen on race day and race on over to Los Amigos instead. Their authentic Mexican cuisine will satisfy every craving. Their burritos are jam-packed with flavor and fresh ingredients, not to mention crispy taquitos, loaded nachos, and all your other Mexican favorites. Enjoy live entertainment on the weekends and karaoke every Thursday night. Los Amigos is open 7 days a week on Big A Road in Toccoa.
Listening to the Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Champ Racing Show with Charles Hess on My Country 99.3 WCON.
Hey, we're supposed to be talking with Crandall Turner right now, but storms have preempted that, so we just can't get through to Crandall, but he's watching us on Facebook and just sharing a few more stories about him. And, of course, Clayton has got the late model, the open-wheel modified. He's shown up last year in that, and maybe he'll get a chance to get back this year. Haven't heard exactly what the status is on that, but congratulations to that family for Rusty Fulbright, our new sheriff of Stevens County. So all part of that same family in there. So I want to congratulate Rusty. And, of course, Toccoa Raceway uses a lot of the sheriff's department, so it's very important that they have a good relationship with the sheriff coming up, and Rusty's going to do a great job.
I'm sure he will.
We talked about the line at Toccoa changing because of the clay, the D shape. A lot of different things have happened. The track prep has changed that a lot too. You can get down at the bottom and pass somebody if you need to. You're not stuck in the mud anymore.
Finding that clay is getting to be a sure enough problem.
It is hard to find
Mike
good
found
clay.
a place to get some pretty decent clay. That's what's on it now, and he's got access to more if he needs it.
That's good.
But he's found some pretty decent clay, and he's put it down, and you wouldn't believe how many loads of clay
it takes a lot, doesn't it?
One, and all the work it goes in it, and they can talk bad about racetracks all they want to, but before you do, you need to come down there and hang out for 2 or 3 weeks and watch how that process unfolds in order for you to sit there and enjoy a race.
Yep, absolutely. Nothing more like being at a racetrack than being at the heartland of America. Here's a little George Strait to tell us about that on My Country 99.3 WCON.
Okay.
So now we're back on here.
Yep.
I sent Rusty a message and congratulated him on his win. Told him if if I could be of assistance, let me know, because I think he's going to do a great job as sheriff. I'm excited about that. Yeah,
I've known him long time, and he's always been.
Well, he was a regular at the racetrack for a long time when he was a deputy.
He really took after his dad, though. He's real quiet and conservative, and really a nice guy. You know, I mean, he's. I'm really proud of him. I'm glad he got the job. I think he'll do super.
Yeah,
I really do.
I think he's going to do well. So you got graduation tomorrow night. What's coming up with you the rest of the weekend? Livonia Saturday night.
Livonia Saturday.
You're going to come help Mark Sunday night at Toccoa? Didn't you say you're helping Mark Wilbank some now?
Yeah, I'm helping Mark some.
What are you doing? Are you prepping tires?
No.
You soaking tires?
Basically just hanging around, really.
He carries his helmet around for you.
Is that what it is?
That's what it is.
That's like whenever I decided I just hang around. You know, you hang around somebody's pit and they say, "Hey boy, grab that tire, roll it over here." Now you're on the crew, man. You're a crew member all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So what you going to be doing Sunday night?
I guess I'll have to go to Toccoa and hang out.
No, I know that, but what you going to be doing at the track?
At the track?
Yeah.
Oh, my usual, just stand up top, and I'm just sort of a fixture now. I really don't even have a job.
So they're just gonna bronze you and put you as a statue there at some point, right?
I reckon.
Hey, Charles.
Yeah.
Real quick, we got like 30 seconds on the song left. I want to get this patch together.
That's a quick one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
we'll do upcoming and just do the close.
We still have one more stop set though. I'm just going to let that fire after the song.
Oh, okay. You're going to fire straight to stop set.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I just want to make sure we get that in.
All right. Yeah. Pardon us while we do some behind the scenes.
Some bandaging.
No, I really don't do anything. I mean, Mike and Jackie's been real good to me and kept me around. And you know, I mean, there's a lot of things I do during the week to sort of help out. You know, and little jobs that has to be done. You know, and he's on the road a lot, traveling and.
Well, his business really picked up. He told me, he said, I got more business than I know what to do with, which is a good thing, but it inhibits what he can do at the racetrack.
But, you know, like I said, you hear all kinds of bad talk and stuff, but I can truthfully say Mike's always been good to me. He's never said a cross word to me ever. And I know I'm just an old grouch, you know, and he's got every right to fuss at me and call me old bad words, but he don't, you know, he tolerates me and goes on, you know. And I really don't know why. You know, I expect him many times.
Because he likes to drive your race car when he can. That's why.
Yeah, he can wheel that old car around. It's a pretty nice little vintage car. I was talking to the guy that's over the vintage.
Yeah, Jerry Williams.
About selling my car, and he's trying to hook me up with some guys over around Travelers Rest that run the class that fits my car.
Right.
So hopefully somebody will come along and get it and enjoy it. You know?
If you've not seen that, it looks like a '55 Chevrolet, but it's actually a late model with a fiberglass body set or aluminum body sitting on it.
It's a GRT, full-blooded GRT chassis with a '55 Chevrolet body on it, and most of it's aluminum. I think the top is fiberglass.
Good looking race car though.
But I mean, it's got all the bells and whistles, you know.
Yeah.
I would, you know, somebody really needs to take it and enjoy it. You know, I mean, it don't need to just sit there in the trailer and just sit and want to go to the race, and I can't.
Yeah,
you know, so might as well just. And I hate to see it go. That's the reason I bought it. I don't know. I just fell in love with it the first time I saw it.
Randy, you ever raced?
Yeah.
What'd you race?
4-cylinder.
When?
Westminster.
Just a few times or what?
Yeah, about 3 times. It wound up on its top.
Oh, did it? Would you hit that hole down in turn 1?
Yeah, and I figured it's time to step aside.
Yeah, I told Jackie Holden, I said, we're going to name that the Jackie Holden Memorial Hole. He hit that thing one night, flipped about 6 times down there in turn 1 at Westminster.
Nobody knew how scared Randy was and sent him into washwoman.
That's right, exactly. It's like Bubba Pollard. Bubba hit the wall down at Peach State one night, and he said, well, there goes my lucky underwear. I asked him about that later. I said, what? He said they had to go away a long time after that.
We're back after this. Let's get the upcoming taken care of and everything like that, and then we'll just fire the close after upcoming.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
10 seconds.
All right. Stand by.
to the metal with the Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Champ Racing Show on My Country 99.3 WCON.
And we're looking at upcoming events, what's happening this weekend. Hartwell Speedway's kicking off tomorrow night. They're reopening with a first Friday night event that they're going to have, and that's happening tomorrow night at Hartwell Speedway. I plan to be there to see everybody, so hopefully I'll be walking around there. On Saturday night, Livonia Speedway is going to be there. You'll see Randy at Livonia Speedway, and I'll plan to be there as well. Just walking around seeing everybody, no official duties. And then Sunday night, you'll see Leon at Toccoa, and I'll be at Toccoa too. I'm going to make it a whole weekend of seeing everybody at all the racetracks. So we look forward to seeing you there. Make sure you flag me down and say, hey, I'll be the guy in the yellow hat. That's for sure. So that's what's happening this weekend. NASCAR, of course, is at the Coke 600 at Charlotte. So that's going to be a big deal to see how that one goes. Long race goes into the night. So we'll find out about that, and we'll talk about that next week. Remember, programming note next week will be on Facebook Live only because the Braves will be on radio. So we won't be doing this on radio next week. Hope you've enjoyed yourself tonight. Thanks so much to Leon Lathan and to Randy Collins. Guys, it's been fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you very much.
We will see you next Thursday night. Logan, great job of production, and we will see you again in a couple of weeks right here on My Country 99.3 WCON. Bye, everybody. Have a good night. Stay safe during these storms, okay?